And then there were two. Hello, welcome to the second episode of Flim Flam Films. Films. I'm Zane Wilson.
I'm Stephen Mommy.
And today, well, there's two of us because Kit has left the show.
Yeah, we wish her on her best endeavors, but you know what they say.
What do they say?
Two's better than three.
I don't
Just
know.
kidding, they don't say that.
Who's they?
I don't know.
Okay, well, anyway, the two movies we have today are Hush, which is directed by Mike Flanagan and it stars Kate Siegel and was released in 2016. And then our second film is ZombieLand, which was released in 2009.
Oh, yeah.
And directed by Ruben Fleischer. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And starring Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, Jesse Eisenberg, and Abigail Breslin.
Sequel in 2019.
I don't know, maybe. All right, so let's start with Hush.
You want to start with Hush?
Yeah, that's what I said before.
Okay, man. Well, I'll hush and I'll let you give out the summary.
All right, so Hush is a very simple thriller. I
Very
would say.
simple.
There's a woman who lives in a house, and she is deaf and dumb because...
I would agree. She is dumb.
No, I'm saying dumb as in she's mute.
No, he means she's an idiot.
Anyway, when she was young, she had some sort of infection, and then they tried to fix it, and then it fucked her up permanently.
Yeah,
So-
her ears don't work.
Yeah, so she lives in a house, and she has a friend. It's a neighbor. And
Just one.
Just one. And then she also has a cat, which is important, I guess. And so basically a guy comes.
It's not important. The cat doesn't do anything.
A guy comes, and he's a killer. Kills her best friend. She makes it to her house. And then the killer is like, oh, she is deaf. I'm going to have fun with this.
Yeah. So
and then the movie continues.
Yeah, no, when he kills the best friend, and then the main chick, she's just cooking some food, and this girl just like hits the wall and gets shot in the back by a crossbow. She's like, ah, and nothing happens. And then the one guy like starts tapping on the glass, and he's like, oh, maybe she can't hear me. And then, because he's just as smart as her, he's like, well, if she can't hear me, then obviously she can't see me. So then he takes off his mask.
That's... Okay, that was...
Like, why?
I would say the protagonist and the antagonist in the movie aren't necessarily the smartest people.
No, they're not by any means smart
And
at all.
and while overall I found the movie to be a tad boring, it didn't bother me nearly as much as you, Steven. Tell me why it bothered
Okay,
you.
so first off, right? She's deaf, and she lives by herself. You know, that's fine.
Well, she has a boyfriend.
Where was he?
I don't know, off running errands or something.
Not there.
I mean, he came eventually.
Well, you know. No, that wasn't her boyfriend.
Yeah, it
That was the neighbor's boyfriend.
I thought it was her boyfriend.
No. I'm pretty sure it was the neighbor's. Anyway,
Well,
this
well,
other
also,
male
I'm the one
came-
that just watched it like a day ago. And I watched Zombieland a day ago.
I have a pretty good memory, Zane.
Alright, okay. So this week, Steven is the one that didn't watch the movies.
No, I watched them just a long time ago,
Alright.
so I still have knowledge. Anyway, one thing I don't like, right? So she's by herself, and she lives in the middle of the woods. Zane, I don't know if you've ever been in the middle of the woods or lived out in the country where there's no internet whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
She would have had her hotspot on her phone, so she really still could have got
What?
help at the very beginning when her
For
phone was
clarification,
taken.
What is a hotspot? I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I've heard that word before. I don't know what hotspot is.
It's like the hotspot on your phone where it basically makes internet, so like Wi-Fi off your phone.
Oh, okay. I know
Yeah.
what that is. Also, I just let everybody know.
Zane
I
has a flip
I have a
phone.
flip phone. I don't have a smartphone. I don't use those.
Yeah. Not up to date.
Yeah, not very tech savvy.
Yeah. No, so she lives in the middle of the woods. She would definitely have her hotspot on the entire time. So even when he takes out the power and steals her phone that's just immediately outside of her house, she would still be able to use her computer and her other devices to contact for help. That's all I'm saying. dumb. Another thing that I hated about the movie, right, is so there's the scene that shows like the weapon that she's going to use to save her and basically save the day.
Yeah.
It showed that scene and that item for a solid like 15 seconds. It felt like on the screen. Like I watched it with a bunch of people that already watched the movie when I watched it the first time and only time, and I was like, oh. That's what saves her. And they're like, have you seen this before? I was like, no, this thing's just been on the screen for 15 seconds.
It is very easy to tell what's going to happen. The foreshadowing is strong.
Yeah, very strong. And I was very upset about it.
You were upset?
Yeah. Last week we talked about the gorilla, right? There was so much craziness. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had a pretty good idea that I knew who the guy was. But there was still enough evidence to be like, maybe not. And then I watched this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, 13 seconds, you're like, well, that's how she's going to save herself. She's obviously going to stay alive.
Steven, we obviously know, with most
I know
thrillers,
she's going to survive. But, me knowing how she's going to survive at the very pinnacle of the movie was a high...
It's not about the journey, it's about the destination. No, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Well... The journey right near the end was very disappointing. Also, when he breathes on her neck, right? How he gets behind her.
Yeah, in the bathroom.
How does this whole time he could have just? He's been trying to get there and kill her. Is he just that dumb? I know he's dumb. Does he have a face tattoo or is it just a neck tattoo?
I don't know.
Either one is dumb. Just throwing that out there. That's one way you can see that he's dumb. But he gets behind her in a ninja fashion way, right?
Kind of jumps down.
Yeah. I don't even know her house even had the crazy
skylight
stuff. Yeah. So he just casually gets behind her. He easily could have killed her. Another blow. What do you think he I know in the movie he didn't obviously whisper anything, and she just heard him breathe. But if he were to whisper something before he tried to kill her, what do you think he would whisper?
I don't know. That if he did it, that would have made it twice as dumb though.
It would have. But him just going.
That's not a whisper. That's breathing out.
I know. I'm saying if he were to whisper instead of just breathing. Mm-hmm. On her neck, what do you think he would have said?
I don't know.
Something romantic, maybe in a way before he kills them.
Why?
A lot of killers they try to be romantic.
Yeah, well, this guy has a face neck tattoo. I don't think that'd be very romantic. From coming from him.
Yeah, but you never know, man. Okay, so imagine you were in their shoes. Would you have said something awesome? Give me your best killer line, right?
Would I have said something awesome if I was about to kill this helpless woman?
Well, obviously she wasn't too helpless because this murderer was killed by her. Was too incompetent to beat somebody with less senses than he has. Okay. So
I don't know. I'm not very quick-witted. I can't come up with some.
He'd just be like.
I wish I had a quick wit, but.
Hey, how are you?
It's so stupid.
I know, but did you think he would have said something like that?
No.
After watching the movie and his character, right, has a neck or face tattoo, whatever this dumb thing is. What do you think? What do you think his slogan would be?
His slogan, like a catchphrase.
Wait, yeah, a straight villain.
Hush.
Yeah,
this is a serious.
Maybe it was a breath out. Maybe he was shh. Huh?
No.
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 But if he was a villain, what do you think his slogan would be?
I don't know.
John Wayne Gacy's, even though he did a bunch of stuff with little boys, you know what his go-to phrase is? I ain't no fruit picker. What do you think this killer?
See, why are you bringing that up?
I don't know. Just expanding the time.
What?
I don't know.
Do you already not have? Do you already have things to talk about?
No, I'm just wondering. I don't know what made me think of. Well, John Wayne Gacy got brought up because we're talking about a killer. But
And we
then
talked about
the
it the other
phrase, and we talked about it the other day.
Okay, anyway, let's move on from that.
So he wouldn't have a slogan?
No, why are we still talking about having?
I'm just
fucking
saying
slogan?
everybody should have a slogan.
Okay, I don't know where you're going with that, but
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just saying I feel like the movie could have been better if there were words.
Well, but the whole point is that it's silent.
I know.
So is that your main problem with the movie then? That it
No,
was
my main
silent?
problem is the fact that I knew what was going to happen and how she was going to save herself within like the first 15 minutes of the film.
So?
Yeah, that film's an hour and 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, you can say the same thing about
Waste.
almost any other movie.
Yeah, almost
if you go into
any
the
other
next,
movie.
If you go into the next, Avengers movie where it'd be like, oh, all the heroes are gonna come back from the dead at the end, and they're gonna beat Thanos and whatever. Well, yeah, obviously that's gonna happen. Everyone knows it's gonna happen, but it's about how they're gonna do it. Even if
Yeah,
they know how they're gonna do it.
Which hero's fully gonna, bring everybody back?
The one who doesn't have a movie scheduled next.
Which one's actually gonna die?
The ones that don't have any movies after this.
But are you 100% sure?
Yes.
Are you?
Let me give you a great example. Everyone was I know we're going on a tangent. Everyone was heartbroken when Spider-Man faded to dust in Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, no, I know Spider-Man is not dead.
Every single person who's coming back. Before
Infinity
War came out, everyone knew that there was going to be a Spider-Man sequel.
Yeah, what about... Yeah, because Sony messed that up. Thanks, Sony. Yeah, they messed that up. What about Loki? You think Loki will be back?
No.
No, but he's getting a TV show.
Is it set after Infinity War?
Is it said before?
Anyway, I guess it's become an Avengers discussion, but I think everyone that died by a way that wasn't being turned to dust from the gauntlet is permanently dead. Because Loki died, and then Gamora died, and then...
No, Gamora is just trapped in the stone. She's not dead.
He threw her off a cliff.
Dude, she's trapped in the stone. That's what the director said.
What?
Yeah, the Russo brothers. They said she was trapped in a stone.
That's so stupid. Anyway.
Also, what do you think? I know since we're just on this topic and we completely went off track.
It's
what do you
fine.
think about
It's our
Captain?
show, we can talk about
yeah,
what we
we
want.
can do what we want. What do you think about Captain Marvel having time traveling abilities?
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what Samuel L. Jackson said. In an
Well, I
interview.
mean, okay, well, to be fair, the movies are a separate thing. They aren't the comics. They don't have to adhere to everything in the comics.
All I'm saying is she has time traveling ability, right, Zane?
Mhm.
The only way it will be great is if she pulls like the Superman time traveling way
And
she
flies
just
around the
flies
planet.
around the planet super fast and it rotates backwards.
Not even.
That would be
I mean, I'm
great.
not going to see Captain Marvel. It looks very boring.
Very boring.
Yes.
Not even just boring. Very boring.
Very boring.
Oh man.
They're not. As I've gotten older,
As I've gotten
I
mature.
don't really enjoy many of the Marvel films nearly as much. I mean, there's a few standouts still, but for the most part, kind of middle of the road for me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Everybody has their opinion. What do you? Let's get back to.
I was about to say,
Hush.
yeah. Okay, so how I felt about the movie.
Yeah, how
Even-
did you feel?
Well, even though, like I said at the beginning, I was kind of bored of it throughout. I guess I did like the gimmick of it's the main character's deaf, so there's no sound throughout the whole movie. That
No,
was
that's not the part
But-
that bothers me.
I know, but I guess besides that gimmick, to me, it didn't really have anything else going for it.
Any pizzazz?
Because it was just a simple. Because if you take that element out of it, right, it's just a guy trying to kill a girl that's in a house,
With a crossbow.
and like the acting is fine, and the cinematography is like it was okay. It could have been a bit better, but overall it was just boring.
Overall.
Because it brought nothing else to the table but that one main.
Yeah,
it's a cool,
except the fact that she's deaf and
yeah, that's a
defeats
cool
murderer.
thing. And there were cool things in the movie that I enjoyed, like when she set off her alarm.
Oh
like,
yeah,
flashing
to
stuff
F
and
him
it's-
up, yeah,
Mhm.
because he could not do anything. No, see, stuff like that was okay. But I'm just saying, I was let down because I knew what was gonna happen, Not like her just staying alive, but I knew that she was going to use this item specifically to defeat him at the very end of the movie. So instead of me just enjoying the movie, I just kept thinking, when's this scene going to happen? When's it going to end?
So you just
when
let
is
that
he about
one
to
thing
do it?
ruin the whole movie for you?
It ruined the whole thing. Because it was just annoying, you know?
So-
I was just like, dumb.
Well, so how do you think you would have
Damn.
felt about it if that scene was removed from the movie?
It didn't have to be completely removed. It just didn't have to be on the screen for as long as it was.
Okay, well, what if it was only on the screen for like a few seconds?
If it was like a full, like, quick second, like a little glance,
Mm-hmm.
and then went on, probably would have been better. But since it lasted so long, it was like hint, hint, like almost like red fucking arrows just like came onto the screen and were like pointing to it and was like, savior right here, you know, like
Savior. Well, I thought
they're doing like fires or whatnot, or like big accidents, and they like smash the window and they pull that thing out that saves everyone.
in case of emergency.
Yeah, that's the shit that was in the scene. That's what it looked like highlighted to
Well,
me.
before that scene happened, or the pan of that object, I thought it was going to be something like with the cat saving her. or something.
Would have been way better. Okay, like if
Well-
the cat would have just like came out and
Well,
like
if the cat saved her to
cut
me, that
her
would've been-
like
that would've-
throat.
cut her throat.
Well, not her throat, his throat. But
To me, that would have been more, not generic. That would have been more like readable. Like I would have I expected that more. Like the cats actually help out in some way.
helping out because the cat didn't help out at all, did he?
No,
Yeah.
from what I remember, no.
What a dumb cat. That's why you should get a dog. The dog would have helped at least a little bit. A
Mm.
little bit. Like he would have at least ran at the guy, or would have been big enough to be in the way where the guy might have been able to trip over him or had to jump and lose his balance for maybe a quick second.
Or
But the
maybe
cat
just
is so
attack him.
yeah, that too. But like that's the obvious answer, you know.
Mm.
The cat is so small. Cat's so small, it's not gonna do anything.
Mhm.
Didn't even jump on his back, his face, or even like purr up on his like leg when he's in the house. Dumb cat,
Hmm.
useless.
Although I would say
Watch there not even be a cat in this film, and we're just
there's a cat. I remember I watched it.
okay. I'm just
You
saying,
watched
but
it,
would
I
be
assume.
funny. I did, but it would be funny if there wasn't a need for a cat. That's all I'm saying.
I guess I would say for this film, the one thing you can use it for is like I could see this being used in like film school or like a mass comms classroom. You know, to teach something. I don't know, as like a unique example of some kind of like the whole thing with no sound in the
With
movie,
no
you know,
sound.
and how to make a movie like
All
that.
what the not B-roll sound,
Like natural sound.
natural sound.
Yeah.
thank
Well,
you.
I feel like Cofield would have a time with this in his movie class.
Natural sound. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, but
It's like our natural sound in here in the studio, just the unit,
yeah, the
just
giant.
just all that buzz in the background is just, you know, the computer's working.
Okay, but I kind of want to stop talking about this movie.
Okay, so I agree. I didn't really like it, and I don't care for it, so we can stop talking about it. But before we stop talking about it, I've heard through the grapevine, and not since, you know, only a few has listened to episode 1, that they really liked your rating system. And since we have Kit
Wait,
not
really?
here,
The
yeah,
few people that who watched it.
you know, I have like 14 million family members, so some of
Yeah.
them watched it, and they were like, we really like the rating system. And then they were like, you should have explained everything. And we're like, well, it's the first episode, so, you know, like, we kind of got to explain everything. But they really liked it.
Did they mean explain the movies or explain the rating system?
Like the rating, all of the
Okay.
rating systems. But since we don't have Kit, we can't do the FFF.
But like,
So we're
they
just
like-
going to use Zane's
So you're saying that they like my rating system more than
ratings.
yours?
No, they like mine as well.
Mine's better anyway. But yeah. Okay. So
I do like yours. I never said I hated yours. I just thought we should have one as a big group as well.
Mhm.
But now there's only 2, so we'll just go with this
so
one.
this movie, before I get into my feelings on it, I would say that generally I wouldn't recommend this film unless you're just curious about the whole aspect of her, or like there being no sound in it, whatever. But besides that, you know, to me, this movie's kind of like a nice gray bowl of lukewarm porridge. It's just kind of there. You can, you know, it's you know, you might eat it. It might have one little dash of spice or two in there, But overall, it's kind of meh.
You know,
So-
like when you go to a restaurant and then that feeling comes over you and you're like, man, that one item looks really interesting, but I
Mhm.
have no clue how it's going to taste.
Yep.
And then you go on that limb to taste it and then you immediately regret it. That's how I felt during the movie.
Mhm.
I was like, this is a cool premise. The picture of the food looks really super duper good, and I'm going to try it. And then I tried and I'm like, well, shit, shouldn't have spent that money on it, but oh well, it's good for the experience, I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, and I want to add to mine actually.
Okay.
I'm taking out the spice in my porridge. It's still gray, goopy porridge,
Just
but
with a lot of salt.
no. But the casing in it, it has the porridge is in a very nice decorated like
Bowl.
a decorated bowl, and the bowl's really cool.
Some fine
but it's
china?
but it's the porridge that's the main thing, and then the main thing is kind of meh. So
Yeah, I would agree. I think those are both good ways. So would you recommend it?
I already went over how I would recommend
I
it.
know, like that.
I
That's
just
how
said
you
that a
rate
second
it.
ago.
I'm just saying.
I said I would not recommend it
Oh, I'm sorry.
unless you're just curious about the premise. Then I would check it out.
You are
just out of
correct. I
curiosity.
completely forgot. That's my fault.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry.
to be fair, you're so tired.
I really am tired, Zane. I
You
worked
think
last
you're-
night.
think you're tired.
Zane, you're right. I didn't run. What? How many miles you run this morning? 8.
We had an acceleration workout, and then we had an hour-long.
So how many
session,
miles you run?
Weight session, like 8.
Exactly. I called it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, imagine doing all that in work.
Okay. I've been there. Did that back in the past, and it was awful. The past. And now I'm just working, and it's still just as awful.
Oh, I know.
Because now I don't do any physical activities,
Mhm.
so my whole body's just tired and aching.
Oh, you poor thing.
I am
It's
pretty.
like- it's
I'm
like-
actually am poor.
It's
Zane,
almost like
so-
there's nothing you can do to help alleviate your muscles, like, I don't know, stretch
Oh,
or something.
only if I had time, you know.
You can take 5 minutes out of your day to stretch.
That's 5 minutes I could be doing something.
Like playing
else.
Smash.
Actually, I haven't played Smash Bros. Since the last time we played Smash Bros.
So 2 days ago.
2 days. That's a long time, man.
Ah, it's so long, you know.
Yeah, I've been doing homework and all of our projects we have.
I haven't.
I know. Anyway, the next movie is ZombieLand.
Now this is. I'll just say I love this movie.
Agreed.
And
This is the better of the two movies.
oh, obviously, if the people
Topic today.
if the people listening know both of these movies, they I think and watched or listened to episode 1, they would know which one we prefer out of these two movies.
Oh, yeah. But also, I know Kit isn't here, but the movie she picked was
Christine.
Christine. Not like it's on Netflix, and it's not the one about the reporter. It's the one with the car. And quick about that is it's really good. It's actually can arguably be scarier than Hush, so you should check it out. It's really good. We won't go into it a lot because Kit's not here anymore, and we don't want to be here all day, you know. So we're just gonna go back to ZombieLand. But you should check out that movie because that's actually, other than I liked it way more than Hush. It was really good. So
Yeah.
ZombieLand.
Okay, so ZombieLand is probably my second or third favorite zombie movie.
What's up
Yeah.
first?
Oh man, it's
Top 3. Sorry.
I guess third would be Zombieland. 2 would be maybe Shaun of the Dead, and then 1 would be Day of the Dead. But you haven't seen Day of the Dead. I know you haven't. So
I mean, that's probably true.
you wouldn't like it. It's very slow paced. And it's not very actiony. So, but it's made by George Romero. So.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So anyway,
ZombieLand.
ZombieLand starts out with the premises: the zombies have taken over
Obviously.
the world, and Jesse Eisenberg is a stereotypical,
Loser.
Yeah, loser. He's kind of a nerd, whatever. But he's survived so far, and
Because he's a nerd.
because he has a rule book.
Yeah.
With rules that he always goes by, and
Like a regular nerd,
and
right?
by following these rules, he's been able to survive so far. And then he comes across Woody Harrelson's character.
The best
Yeah.
guy in the whole film.
Yeah, pretty much. And they team up, and then they
And
get-
search for one item.
Oh yeah, Woody Harrelson's character is searching
Love. Everybody's looking for love in this movie. Different versions of love. Woody's is a Twinkie.
Yes,
Jesse's
Woody Harrelson's whole goal in this movie is just find that one, that golden sponge.
The golden sponge.
It's the only thing that drives him right now. But yeah, they meet a few of the characters played by Emma Stone and Abigail something.
It is.
And
Abigail, I'm going to butcher her last name, but Abigail, let me get to the notebook. Abigail Breslin.
Yeah. But and then they go like cross country trip and they interact with each other and whatever, blah blah blah. So, Steven.
Oh man, you know what we forgot to do about Hush?
Huh.
But it's probably because we didn't have any of these. Your favorite scene?
Didn't have one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We forgot to do that.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. Obviously, we didn't like the movie. Anyway,
Steven, how did you like ZombieLand?
I love ZombieLand. Because I didn't do one with Hush because I didn't have one. I'll just say couple of my favorite scenes of ZombieLand. Number one is probably when they meet Bill Murray. And he's just dressed up as a zombie. And
It's a really good strategy.
The reason why he hasn't died is basically because he's that good of an actor. He's just been acting as a zombie so well that the other zombies are just like, oh, I guess it's another zombie. But zombies don't talk, so you know.
Yeah, and I think this is funny because this is probably these zombies in this movie are probably the least intelligent zombies in any fictional media, because if you can just put on face paint and act like a zombie and they won't bother you, even though they could probably smell that you're not made of
no, they just don't. They're
flesh.
dead. They don't have smell, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, they do in The Walking Dead, but
well, this isn't The Walking Dead. This is ZombieLand.
Yeah, that's not a good show. So you know,
yeah,
bad reference.
Bad reference.
Comic's great though.
Comics are great. They are.
No, I said the comic is great.
That's what I said. The comic is great.
So you've read it?
My sister has, and I've read parts of it. My favorite person in the comic is Jesus.
Jesus?
Because he's a boss.
What are you talking about?
He's a boss in the comics.
Jesus?
Yeah.
What?
Where do you pronounce it? Jesus.
Yeah, he's... Now,
way cooler as Jesus. He just beats people up with his fist.
Anyway.
Way cooler.
ZombieLand is great because it's a comedy zombie movie, like Shaun of the Dead.
No, this is super serious.
Yeah, sure. It's super serious. But it's really fun, and one aspect that I really like is as they go out throughout the movie, every now and then Jesse Eisenberg's character lists off and talks about some of the rules he has in his rule book and what they mean and stuff like that. And you see throughout the movie that some of them change after him and the gang go through certain experiences and stuff like that. And I guess it's just a very easy way to get across to the audience that his character is changing.
Oh,
you know,
super easy
and stuff like
and
that.
Noticeable character development,
especially at the very end of the movie when they go to the amusement park. And we won't say what else happens there, but you know, because it's the finale.
Yeah. No. Great points. What is your favorite scene? I know you like that aspect of the movie. But
Well, I mean,
what would your favorite scene? Because
I saw-
mine is definitely any scene with Bill Murray and all the. This scene's also in the trailer, but whenever Woody's like, "Zombie kill of the week," and then it just flips to a random zombie kill, and it's like, actually, the kill of the week is brought to you by the other random civilian.
That is cool, but I have some other things I want to talk about the movie before we get to
Your
favorite
best scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd also like to talk about how the use of the soundtrack the soundtrack in the very beginning of the movie with Metallica is I think is a great scene. The opening scene of this movie is really great because it's just a montage of different people running away from zombies in slow motion, and some of them are pretty hilarious. And it just that in combination with For Whom the Bell Tolls in the background is kick-ass. It's awesome. It helps sets the mood for the movie very well. And I also I like it because like I'm a runner, you know. You're not really a runner anymore.
Not anymore. I'm retired.
But
Really tired.
Back during when ZombieLand came out and everyone was like zombie crazy or whatever, I would always think about how like, man, if they actually were zombies, I'd live because I can run further than anybody else or whatever.
It was like 2000. It came out in 2009.
No.
How old were you? How old were we?
I was 12.
You were 12, so I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, and well, I guess a year or two after I saw it and I started running. But in the movie, one of Jesse's rules is just simply cardio. Simple, effective. Yes, that's like obvious, but you know, that'd be great. Because also, I mean, you know, you don't have to run faster than the zombies. You just have to run faster than the guy next to you.
Also, one nice thing about the movie, I like how Woody's character always draws a 3 on every vehicle he gets.
Mm-hmm. And I don't remember ever there being. Was there any significance to that? Or was that just a thing?
I think it's just for NASCAR. Dale.
All right, but also I don't know exactly. Again, I don't know much about film and camera techniques. And that kind
It was
of thing.
fine. It was
No.
great.
I was gonna say that like, I don't know if there's a certain like thing they did with what do you call if like a movie's stylized in a way where like the visuals look like they're more like the color palette looks a certain way, like because you know how
A filter?
I guess like the color
They
filter
use-
was very interesting because especially in some scenes it makes a lot of the colors pop in an appealing way. And what else would you say? Oh yeah, the how you mentioned the zombie kill of the week. A lot of the kills in the movie are very creative and fun
Oh
to
yeah,
watch.
they really are. That's probably my favorite overall thing, because it's a great comedy,
Mhm.
but it's not like too extra and not too like shoving down your throat with the comedy.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
It's
that's
wellly placed and timed, and it's
yeah.
all good.
And actually, I was about to mention that like the comedy in this movie, it's a bit different from the movies we covered last week because I think in this movie it's not that it's subtler, but it's just not. It doesn't. I guess like there's not as many jokes, and that's not a bad thing because this isn't like a comedy. Like I watch it and I'm laughing and falling out of my chair all the time, but it's more just enjoyable just to sit and watch. Because like I'll chuckle and laugh every now and then, but I just enjoy watching the movie as a whole altogether.
Oh yeah.
And it does have a nice like I get the whole message at the end of the movie is pretty generic, but it's fine because you still
get what you love.
yeah, I guess, but you still learn to you grow or not grow, but you learn to like and care for the characters in the movie.
Yeah, and hopefully the sequel rumor of being in 2019 is not false.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, let's hope it
'Cause
will happen.
A sequel has been in talks for like 10 years.
Yeah, well, sometimes it just takes 10 years to get the ball
Yeah,
rolling.
Well, ooh, here's my fun fact for the day.
Oh, fun fact.
I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering correctly, ZombieLand when it was originally pitched was going to be a TV show,
Awesome.
and then no one wanted to fund it, so they just made it into a movie, and it did. I think it did modestly at the box office. I think pretty much people liked it like critically, but
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't popular enough to immediately have enough sequel. But I would say it's like a cult film in a way,
Kind of.
because a lot of the fans have been clamoring for one ever since it came out.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's as big as a cult following as like The Room.
Oh man.
I think that's the biggest cult following for any movie, other than like maybe Passion
uh-uh.
of Christ.
What?
I don't know.
Okay,
if you
you're
count
just,
as religion as
you're just
a
pulling
cult.
stuff out of your ass now, man. I don't know what you're doing.
No, I mean,
But-
think about it.
No, the biggest cult film I could think of that's like almost not a cult film is like The Big Lebowski. That is like
Oh,
the
okay.
cult film.
Do you see that they're about to? He was dressed up in his regular
Who's he?
sweater.
Who-
The dude.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was in costume, and they were saying that there's a project
So was
dealing
it
with the dude
was it just a
It's
picture
about
of
to
him
be
in
re-
costume, or was it a picture of him in costume on set?
on his head.
Okay.
Whole video.
Well, I hope they don't do a sequel. The movie's fine as it is, but you
It
know,
is.
money. So, oh yeah. So, my favorite scene in the movie.
What would that be?
Well, there are two things I like. One of them is just like a small snippet, and at one point, Jesse and Woody I'm sorry, I'm not saying their characters' names. I forget them.
Yeah.
They're leaving me right now. But
we don't know them.
but they, for some reason, we'll let you guys find out. They lose their car and their weapons, so they need to find another mode of transport. And they just so happen to find this like yellow Hummer. Was it a Hummer? I know.
Yeah, it's a
was
Hummer.
it yellow?
It's a yellow Hummer.
They find this big.
Because then
bright
he writes 3 on
Yes.
it because he has to have 3 written.
They just find this big yellow untouched Hummer in the neighborhood, and it's filled to brim with guns. Just very very lucky on their part. And then Woody just pulls out a gun and he just goes, "I love rednecks," and just starts shooting and wasting the bullets in the gun, just because he's so happy. And I love it. And then my other favorite scene in the movie, I guess, would be the very beginning when Jesse talks about, I don't know if it's the first or second where he mentions double tap, where you always have to. And I don't know why, it's not really like a funny moment, it's just I guess it's interesting to me.
Make sure they're dead.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's kind of for a dumb reason, but the first time I saw it said double tap, it made me think of, have you ever played Call of Duty Zombies?
Unfortunately.
Fortunately. Well,
they've gotten
maybe
much
now,
worse. They've gotten, they went like up, and then they're just slowly going down.
Mm-hmm. But on one of the game when they first started to introduce perks in the zombie mode, there's one called double tap, and it makes you shoot faster. And it just made me, at the time when it was on, it just made me think of that, and it just made me remember it more. But yeah, ZombieLand is incredibly enjoyable. I'd recommend it to anybody, even children. Because it's not really that gory, besides like one scene at the end.
Because there's no such thing as anything.
What?
Just anything.
What?
Nothing's real.
There's no such thing
Nothing's
as
real.
anything?
I was gonna say
You're really
anything
tired.
bad. I really am, and I know you think I can't be because I'm young, and I don't run. And
I don't think
do
anyone
the
thinks
sports anymore. But I am tired.
Are you just fed up with everything right now, Steven?
I'm not fed up. I'm just tired.
Mm-hmm.
Now the other day I was definitely fed up. I was very
Tuesday?
I was very heated.
Oh yeah, it was.
I was very upset.
It was very entertaining though.
Oh,
I
know.
I'm
I'm a very entertaining guy, except for when I'm on this podcast, and then I'm a mediocre, maybe entertaining person with the help of Zane.
I mean, I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, episode 2.
We got like 5 people to watch it. My uncle's gonna watch it.
Yeah, I got episode 2, not too bad. I mean, everyone's a critic, but that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more people that talk about it, the better it will get.
Mm.
And when you start as trash, you know what they say: you can only go up.
I don't think that's how you say it, but yeah.
But you
have
know
right
the
idea.
premise, you know.
Hey, if you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
I guess we could go somehow down though.
Back
Worse.
down. I mean, we could. Maybe it's because we don't have 3 people because Kit's gone.
Well, I mean,
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. We do wish Kit good luck on all of her endeavors.
But we do miss
She
her.
will be missed. Yes.
That's a good. You know what we should.
Discuss the next movies we're going to talk about.
We should, but before we do that, we have to do the rating system of ZombieLand.
Yeah.
Before we can't forget that, buddy.
Mhm.
And then we should definitely pick the next movies. And then, when do you think we should ever have a guest on with us?
I thought we already said yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what episode? Are we thinking maybe episode 5?
Sure. Sounds like it.
Episode 5. Special guest.
I really redlined that one.
Well, I did. Hey,
Really
but that's
just
a
eat the
very
microphone
important
on that
message.
one.
You know, that's a very important message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Since I went
Since
first
we
last
don't
time, you go first this time.
hang on, let me. Okay, and then we'll talk about the other stuff.
All right.
ZombieLand to me. I don't know.
Can't throw back this way. This is on you. You did that to me last time. You're on the spot now, Steven.
No, I'm thinking. I might have to change mine.
Don't
like
make
you
the
did
audience
yours.
wait. They want to hear it now.
I wasn't prepared. I
What?
winged it.
You weren't prepared after you watched the movie?
I'm never prepared. No, just for this bit, it always throws me to a loop of like what my everyday life that I would like throw it back. Actually, you know what? ZombieLand to me like I said in the first episode, I don't really like rewatching movies because I just don't. Because when I watch them, then I immediately know what happens, and I'm just bored.
Well, it doesn't have to be about finding out what happens next. It's just about enjoying the craft of it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I can't.
I mean,
find
do you play video games and stuff?
Not really, but that's what I'm about to.
I mean, you play Smash all the time.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like story modes, you know, which is kind of like how films are. Anyway, to me, ZombieLand is like any of my Nintendo 64 games, right? I love them dearly, and if every now and then, every now and then, and by every now I mean like every like year or so, I'm like, you know what, this is a really good thing. I should probably replay it or rewatch it.
And then you don't.
And then I don't.
But
then I think about it, and then I'm like, I'll watch it.
You put it in, and then we played Doom 64 for about 15 minutes and get frustrated with the controls and turned it off.
But we still watched some of it. That was like me. That's like, yeah. So we'll play like 15 minutes of it. I'll start it, and I'm like, well, time to watch something else. I already remember how this ends, so I'm frustrated. But it's good. It's a good frustration.
Mm-hmm. I'll say for me, I really enjoy ZombieLand, but I wouldn't, like, similar to Airplane, I wouldn't watch it like anytime.
Oh,
also,
no.
Also,
you can't.
There was one thing I wanted to mention. Actually, no, there's two things I want to mention. First.
Actually, there's three things. Just wait.
No, just two. The first thing is I wanted to make a correction from last week, because when I was going back and editing the audio, I noticed I contradicted myself when we were talking about Airplane.
Okay, listen. There's a lot of contradictions. You don't have to apologize.
So I said at one point that I love all the scenes in the movie equally, but then immediately after I said I like the physical gags more than the spoken jokes, and I thought about it, and
it's really been bothering him actually. Like Tuesday, he mentioned it, he's like, "Yeah, so I noticed I contradicted myself," and I'm like, saying it doesn't matter. Well, people make mistakes.
It matters to me, and I just wanted to clear it up for people, because I just want to try and do this the best we can.
Well, Zane, as a listener of the podcast and somebody that's on the podcast, I will say I really appreciate you correcting yourself.
Yeah, you seem really appreciative, Steven. Thanks.
You're welcome,
Dick.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
I'm serious. I've never been more honest with anybody in my life.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. I remember what I was going to say. So, the way I kind of view movies in more of a general sense is, like, I put them into two categories.
Good or bad?
I guess technically three categories. So
good, bad, and mediocre.
They're the movies I don't like, and I don't watch them.
Obviously.
But then the movies I do like, I separate those into two categories.
Okay.
I can like a movie, but I
can't rewatch it.
Don't want to rewatch it. And then there's the movie I do like. Scared me. Steven lowered my chair with his foot, just so you know. But I can't get back it up. I'll get it. But so, and then I have movies that I can watch anytime that are extremely rewatchable. And now, I might like a movie more if it's in the first category than a movie that's in the second category. But since in the second category I can watch them at any time, I generally tend to, I guess, favor those more. But for me, ZombieLand falls in that first category where I really like it, but I wouldn't really want to watch it all the time. And I guess for my comparison, I guess I would say that I'm stuck. I thought I was gonna have something to say at this point, but now I'm looking like Steven, like I didn't think anything.
Looks like you're an idiot also.
Well, we'll be idiots together.
That's fair. That's what we're actually, the Flim Flam Films podcast, brought to you by two idiots and two chairs.
Okay, I get it on. I guess
is
we
that,
have
is
two
that
chairs.
we are in
But
two
we also
chairs.
have two microphones and two speakers and all the kind of stuff.
And two lives.
Two lives? I thought I said two lies.
Yeah. Lies.
Lies.
Find our two hidden lies in the podcast.
I guess. Okay, I had an idea, or I had an idea of what I was gonna say, what I compared the movie with, but I I realized I keep coming up with food things.
Yeah.
Comparing the movies to
But
food.
yeah, I'm like
So I'm
actually
trying to
doing
think of something else.
real life activities, and then you're
Eating
doing,
is not a real life activity.
I mean, like, some people don't eat, man. You know what fasting
What?
is?
Yeah, but you don't fast.
Okay,
forever.
what about people that starve themselves? They just don't eat.
Yeah, that fast?
We're talking about everyday, man. Everyday life.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm
Okay, hold on. I got
I'm
this.
getting off
I can
subject.
come up with something.
Okay, you come up with it, but while you do that, I'm gonna think about what type of theme. So, when Zane's thinking about that, I'm just gonna talk and ask. Obviously, this is episode 2, so we don't have a following yet, but maybe eventually, maybe by episode 6, after our one guest episode, we can start seeing stuff in the comments section.
Are there any comments on our first video?
I don't think so.
All right.
Comments about recommendations on films that you guys would like us to cover. But they have to be either on Hulu, Netflix, or free on YouTube. Because we are poor. And we don't have access.
There are other options.
There are, but preferably on Netflix, Hulu, and free stuff on the internet. So not everything, but most things.
Okay. I got it.
He is ready, folks.
I will say what it is next week. 'Cause it's not
Oh
gonna
my
be-
god.
I'm also very tired. But I recommend it. ZombieLand is a very, very enjoyable movie.
It is a very enjoyable movie. Who do you think we should get as our first guest? I know this probably doesn't matter to them, but because they don't know. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
What about films for next week? That's what we need to decide.
I already have. mine.
Should we tell them what the film is to let the
Oh yeah. Well,
the
teaser.
hype? Yeah,
What is your movie,
you
Steven?
what? No, you will decide your movie first, because then I can know our theme of the week.
Well,
If you haven't noticed, we've been doing themes. So the first week, that actually wasn't a theme. That was just
we
first
unintentionally
week.
all picked comedies.
Yeah, more or less. And then this week, obviously, horror and scary.
Even though ZombieLand's a comedy.
Well, like I said, Hush wasn't really scary because
Excuse me.
it was predictable. And I still think, like I said, I think Christine, honestly, is the scariest out of all three of this. And it's just about a car killing people, okay? But it's actually a really good film, so I would recommend it.
All right, so I don't think all the movies I'm gonna pick don't really follow a theme.
Don't.
Because I'm just picking movies that I like.
He's
So,
just picking porn. That's all
Steven,
Zane watches.
The movie that I'm about to say. I'm
I'm gonna have no knowledge of it, so go ahead.
It is my, not joking. It is my favorite movie of all time.
I hope you say it.
And yeah, I know you also love the hell out of
Oh,
this movie.
baby.
My movie for next week is Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Unironically, my favorite movie of all time. Let me stress that.
Let me say how great this movie is.
No.
No. Just as a little snippet. I wrote a paper in college about how great this film is, and it is great.
And I can't tell you how proud I was when Steven decided to write a
Zane
paper about it, 'cause I love this
showed
movie so
me
much
this
and no one else
movie,
does.
and I've never been happier. Man, that is a good pick, and that really, I guess that's a parody. You would say it would be a parody.
It's a parody.
Okay, so
Of,
I have to
like, 70s kung
another
fu films.
parody, movie. You got any other parody movies you know off the top of your head? I know you know a lot.
There's I believe it's UCF
Oh, should we keep with the kung fu parody?
or UHF.
thing?
UHF, that's the name, huh?
Should we keep with the kung fu? Have you seen Shaolin Soccer?
No, but you talked about it the other day, and it sounded very, very
It's just
moronic.
kung fu and soccer.
Yeah, but
Okay,
you said it was
that's
like
fair.
Kung Fury, and Kung Fury is terrible.
Oh my! What are you talking about? Hitler calls up a police station. He goes, "Hello, is this the police?" And they're like, "Yes, this is the police." And he just shoots into the phone. And there's a character that only shoots people in the dick. Hilarious.
Don't watch Kung Fury unless you want to. Then do
In
it.
other words, thank you. They'll get it. They'll get it if they watch it.
So what's your movie?
That's a good question.
But my I guess that you asked for me for one, a parody. Do you know Weird Al Yankovic?
Yes.
He made a movie in the late 80s called UHF, which is a parody of multiple things.
It's on Netflix.
Possibly.
What about Hulu?
I don't know.
What about YouTube?
I don't. Okay.
Boy.
Let me say something real quick. I have a flip phone. I don't have any social media.
Yeah, but you have a PlayStation
I don't have any streaming
and a computer.
service. That is true, but I don't. Really
What's it
know
called
about
again? When we're done.
UHF.
UHF.
Yep, that's it. So I guess that. Do you want that to be your movie then?
Let's see where I can watch it on. 97 minutes, July 21st. Okay. You know what? Sure, we'll do on
UHF?
YouTube. I guess Vudu and Amazon Prime, Google. It's
Okay,
only
so
$2.99.
anyway, the movies
That's
for
fine.
next that we'll be discussing next week is Kung Pao, Into the Fist, and UHF,
starring.
starring Weird Al Yankovic for UHF.
Nice.
All right, well,
I think that's good.
yeah.
And then the week after that, I don't know.
So, Steven, do you have any last words or closing words, thoughts for our viewers or listeners?
Thoughts. I'll let you go first because I'm still thinking about the thoughts that I want to
Really?
bestow onto them.
Because mine are going to take like 2 seconds, so you better come up with something quick.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, you can say yours and then I'll say mine.
I had a good time this week.
I also had a great time. Thanks, Zane, for giving me direction on what I wanted to say. There's only one last thing we need to do before we talk to you guys next week.
Another sweet tune.
Is a sweet-ass jingle from the man, the myth, the legend, co-host of Flim Flam Films, the one, the only, Zane Wilson.
In a big country dream, stay with you.
Yeah. Good night.